it's hard, but you can't go around thinking of her 1,000 times when you think you see her face in the crowd. Now she's gone, no way of ever knowing. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Here's what she'd say. Don't cry for me, don't cry. No more shopping in the hall, only empty spaces. Brand new kitchens, black and white. I feel the house is dying, and I'm inside. Now she's gone, no way of ever knowing. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Here's what she'd say. Don't cry for me, don't Every time I think of you, I just break down. I miss you more than I ever could Here's what she'd say. She said, don't cry, don't cry for me, don't cry. Here's what she'd say. Don't cry for me, don't cry. Oh no, don't cry for me, don't cry. She said, don't
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys had a good week and that your weekend has started well as always. So let me skip this instant advert that's trying to jump on screen. Hello to you guys in the live chat room. Let's give you a quick shout out right at the beginning of the live stream. In there we have Alison, Gale, Angela, Tammy, PN1123, Cindy1313, and Teresa, the Langy 5, Diamond Girl's in there as well, and Bob, and that's going through too quickly for me to keep a track of all of the names. But hello, thank you for joining me on this Saturday night. Now let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are, always the foundation of everything that I do and allow me to make videos on YouTube and just everything that I've done in the past. So let's keep things rolling and get the likes goal up on screen for tonight. Now, are we on Phil Jam number 284? It is, that is correct. And tonight we are aiming for 440 thumbs up. So that's quite a large target for tonight. And I think maybe last week we only just made it to 435. So we need everybody to hit the thumbs up again and everybody to attend again and see if we can reach that total of 440. If we do get 440 thumbs up, it means we're going to be having that Phil Jam number 284. So let's get the likeometer up on screen and see where we are at. And so far, 204 likes, which means we're looking for another 236 people to get involved before the end of the live stream. We'll see if we can get some more people involved before we finish, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So now, finally, getting up on screen the donations tab, because you don't have to donate, as I always say. Just watching is great, but the donations are very much appreciated, and for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's very important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which is in the description below. But you can watch without having to donate, of course. You can subscribe. You can request videos, analysis videos. Nothing is gained by donating. So yeah, just watching is fantastic, and yeah, maybe hit a thumbs up, leave a comment as well. But I don't kind of only do videos for people that donate. That kind of stuff is not how I run my channel. I just keep on pushing forward through all of the requests that come through to requests@wingsofpegasus.com. Right, now I can see that there have been a few donations in the Super Chat window, and I can see lots of people going through there. And I can see that Sue's just donated, and now Sue's name appears in orange in the live chat room. That's the first time I've noticed that, but maybe I'm not looking in the live chat room very regularly. But yes, thank you for those donations. Now, just before I get into those, and I will address donations over on PayPal as well, I have recently been talking about AI a lot, and it's, I don't know, kind of encouraged me to make the last video that I made, which was last night, about AI and the way that, as a musician myself, and owning my own publishing and copyright and all that kind of stuff, giving my point of view on it and how AI works, how those two things don't necessarily go together. And I made that video last night, and it was very much just because I get asked so many questions about AI and get so many emails, and I talk about AI all the time on the live streams as well. And it was just a video so that everybody who is asking me a particular type of question, the answer will be in that video. And that video is, half an hour long. So even today, there have been comments from people that still don't necessarily understand that I'm not even talking about the generation of music and typing in prompts. I'm talking about how AI's come to get to this place. So yeah, that's all in last night's video, so you can check that out if you want to. And over the last few months, probably over the last 7 or 8 months, I have mentioned over on Patreon about getting help with an assistant who can just help to organize things and just keep their finger on the pulse of what's going on and seeing any messages that I should really see above other ones, like, for example, that thing that I kind of forgot that I can't talk about it, but I did something that will be on TV at some point in the future, but I can't say what it is for all this, any details of it. But the important point is that the assistant, the helper person that I've got, who's just basically overseeing things and make sure that I don't miss things that are important, that particular email came through and I hadn't noticed it from this particular production company asking for me to go into London and do some filming. So had I not been told that that email had come through, because I get so many messages and so many emails, as I'm sure you guys can appreciate. And this isn't even just kind of the requests email. I'm talking about, you know, the Wings of Pegasus website and requests that come through there. So had I not been told about that, I probably would have missed that, and it would have been, yeah, a great opportunity missed. So that was the very reason for having somebody just saying, oh, by the way, did you notice that this has come through? You know, maybe in the day's emails, email number 42 out of 60 or something. And I just, because I'm doing so many things, just getting through that inbox and seeing what it includes, or that one inbox, you know, looking through all the other inboxes as well that I've got to keep up to date with. So yeah, long story short, that was a very good use of having just somebody's eyes just looking over other things other than me, you know, being able to, or having to look through all of it at the same time. But the reason that I mention it is that they said about the, I think over on the Facebook supporters group, something like that, people were saying about the AI videos, but also how much had been spoken about in the live streams. And I was only made aware of this earlier today. And so it wasn't really related to last night's video, but last night's video was probably related in that I just wanted to put out a video that explained everything, so I didn't have to keep on describing to people or explaining to people why what they're saying fundamentally isn't true. For example, somebody saying, oh, but if you play a guitar, does that mean that the people who made the guitar own what you're playing on it? And it's that kind of logic that it doesn't make any sense. So I'm trying to explain to people that, well, no, it's the same as I said a poet, or a writer, or somebody who's creating something. Let's go with somebody writing poetry. Then the person or the company that made the pen that they wrote it with, they then own the poetry. It's kind of a logic that doesn't really make any sense. So I'm trying to explain things to people of how really quite basic it is when you look at it from. I guess I've got the advantage of looking at it from that point of view, being able to see how, you know, copyrighted material has been used and there's no consent for it. But we won't talk about that tonight. And over on Patreon, I did ask people, and I might actually do this in the future. So anybody that is over on Patreon, my patrons, the names at the bottom of the screen at the moment, if there are any topics, I think I asked earlier on for themes, and then I realised themes isn't really the right word for this. So if there are any topics that you would like discussed on the live streams, then yeah, let me know in the post that I do an hour before we go live, so then I can just have a quick look through, and we can maybe get into some different topics, because we've had lots of different topics in the past. So things that we've had are like aliens. We talked about Skinwalker Ranch, which I'm currently watching, and yeah, it's very interesting at the moment. So other things like, you know, sharks, and, you know, a lot about fitness and diet and, you know, sports, that kind of stuff, because that's also in my background, you know, well, probably over 20 years ago now. But yeah, I'll have a quick look through that post that I did on Patreon, and we'll jump into some stuff in a few minutes. And the other thing that I just want to mention is that at the end of the last live stream, and this sometimes happens when somebody makes a donation and then the donation doesn't come through until after I've stopped the live stream, and obviously at that point I can't then mention it because I'm not live anymore. But I do reference all of the donations, and it's really important that when people make donations that they watch the live stream and maybe kind of follow along and listen carefully, because I do address them during the live stream unless I miss it. Like in this particular case, Leslie donated £25 and I didn't get the notification until after the live stream. So thank you for that. And that was at the end of the last live stream. But yeah, there have been multiple cases where some people have said, oh, I made a donation and you didn't mention it. And then I've gone back and I found the part of the video in the live stream where the donation was made and me referencing it in either the super chat window or the PayPal window. So yeah, I've had that a few times where people obviously I might have been talking about something else and then I jump into mentioning a donation, and they might not be switched on as to what I'm saying, or I might have just zoned out with everything that I'm saying. But there is a lot going on in the live chat room as well, so people are jumping in and out of conversations. But yeah, I do reference every single donation, including that one at the end. So Leslie, thank you for that. Now, let's just quickly jump into the super chat window, because Paul donated $10. Thank you for that. And the message is, here we grow again. 512,000 subscribers. Most excellent. Let's have fun tonight. Despite those likes, all y'all. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. And I'm sure that this is the thing that I didn't change. And I can see that is confirmed. I did not change it to 512, but now I've just changed it to 512. So there we have it. Oh, and I tell you what, let me see if I can find on the software where this applause comes in, like where the layer is that's making the noise, because you might not be able to hear me now because the noise might be a little bit too loud. Aha! Here we go. Let me try and turn this down a little bit. So, I don't know if this is having any effect. Oh, that's up and then down, and then maybe I can leave it about there. So anyway, I'm attempting, without being able to hear it, I'm attempting to turn down all of the cheering in the background, because some people say that it's too loud in the past and they can't hear what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, thank you guys for subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, hitting the notification bell, all of that cool stuff. And yeah, 512,000 subscribers is great. We'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. But it should end automatically. And it did end automatically, but the subscriber pop-up... okay, the subscriber pop-up didn't disappear, and then the cheering started again when I got rid of it. So that's something that I'm going to have to sort out later on. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, great amount of subscribers, and yeah, thank you guys for watching and just getting involved and joining me on these live streams as well. So Orlando Natural Pro 2003 has donated $2. Thank you for that. And the message is, hello Philip, spike the likes. So great advice there for you guys in the live chat room. If you could hit that thumbs up, that would be great, because we're aiming for 440 likes tonight, which, yeah, is a large number, but we'll see if we can make it there. And Sue has donated $19.99. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is 440 likes. You know what to do. Wingers, we've got this, with a thumbs up. So, yeah, again, great advice there from Sue. If you could hit the thumbs up, that would be great. Now, let me just get up to speed with what's going on over on PayPal. Elrod has donated £6, so thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. And Ian has donated £1 over on PayPal as well, so thank you for that. And Karen has donated £3.66. I'm just seeing here because it looks like it might be more of a request type thing. You don't have to donate to make requests. You can make those requests through to requests@wingsofpegasus.com. Just email there the request, and yeah, I'll work my way through those emails. But the message is, hi Phil, can you please see the NPR music channel where Robert Plant looks to be singing Raw in the Tiny Desk concert? Here's the link. I would love your opinion. Thanks, Jade902, aka Karen. So thank you for that. And there isn't a link with, I don't know whether PayPal's taken out the link, but there's no link to a video there. But you can send the link and email through to requests@wingsofpegasus.com, and I'll be able to see that, and the link will definitely go through in an email. But thank you for that, Karen. And we have a £10 donation from Debbie as well. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, thanks for all you do. It really is appreciated. Congrats on 512,000 subscribers. You're the best. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And Jacqueline has donated £2 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, thoughts on the woman who travelled from UK to USA to be unalived. She was very depressed. So thank you for that. And I don't know anything about somebody going from the UK to the USA to be unalived. So thank you for that, Jacqueline. I can't really add anything to that, unfortunately, as I don't really know anything about it. But Charles has donated £36 and 61 pence. So thank you for that, Charles. And the message is, not much, hope it helps. Continued success and stay humble and true to your values. Best. So thank you for that. And it just reminded me of a comment that I answered earlier where somebody was saying, and I think the problem is with what I'm saying on the channel, some people have a very defensive reaction to it when they think that, you know, they've created a song when in fact what I'm saying is, well, it isn't actually your work, it's the talent of others that, you know, this particular algorithm AI model is using. And I get lots of defensive reactions from people. And yeah, one person said, Phil, the music that he makes has, you know, it's so it's already been done, or it's so cliche, and all of these different things that are subjective opinions. And music being an art form, you shouldn't really make music trying to fit somebody else's, you know, preferences, or what they like, their subjective opinion on particular things like lyrical content, for example, because that's impossible. You can't write, like for this person who commented, I can't change what I'm into just because you don't like that. All I can do is be me and then hope that some people like it. And the great thing is that if you make music that you enjoy making, even if nobody buys it, then you enjoy making it. I don't see any point in making music that you don't really like, hoping that other people are going to like it. Because what if that does become successful? It means you're going to spend your whole life playing something you don't really like playing, which isn't the place you want to be in. It is a lot better to play something that you enjoy playing for a very small audience, rather than hating what you do and having a huge following. Because having a huge following means that you're under even more pressure to keep doing that same kind of music that isn't authentic to you as an artist. So yeah, some people's arguments that they don't really understand what music is, and how being an artist is being influenced by a particular sound, by a particular other, you know, band or set of musicians, maybe guitarists, all that kind of stuff. And those inspirations that come through are quite specific. You know, we're not going to be talking about AI, but being influenced isn't putting everything of all time into, you know, an AI model. That's not being influenced. Being influenced is everyone having their own identity, not taking everybody else's identity of all time. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for this, Charles. And we are going to move on. And Lynn's donated £75. Thank you for that, Lynn. And the message is, Phil, thanks for your recent AI analysis. So glad you still have time to watch Skinwalker Ranch. Must be close to season finale in the UK. Thank you for that. And it is, I think, quite close. There's at least another 1 or 2 episodes, but I don't know how many episodes are in. Oh, actually, next week might be. I just remembered that at the end of the last episode, it had them all sitting round kind of the office table that they have at the end of each series. So next week is probably the last one. But yeah, lots of interesting stuff kicking off on Skinwalker Ranch in this series. So yeah, we'll have to see. I think when they look at things at the end, it's very much just a reflection of the whole series. But certainly some interesting stuff has happened. So thank you for that, Lynn. And Karen's donated £5.49, so thank you for that in the messages. Hi Phil, congrats on hitting 512,000 subscribers. I found your discussion on AI to be very thorough and informative. Great idea about giving topics on Patreon. I don't know much on Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, there are topics that you like to discuss besides music. Many thanks, Karen. So thank you for that. And I generally just go with whatever the flow is. I don't have an agenda on these live streams. I don't. When people are asking about particular topics, and I think this is why recently with AI people have been asking a lot about it. That's why I've been talking a lot about it. And in the news as well with Sir Paul McCartney with his viewpoints on it as well. So here in the UK, it is kind of a hotbed of discussions and people saying different things. But yeah, with what I talk about, I never come into the live streams with an agenda to talk about anything. But it might be cool just to have a few suggestions of topics to jump into. Now, the topics would just be general stuff and nothing on politics or religion, anything like that, because that always ends in tears. No matter how objective or straightforward somebody's view might be, it's always going to clash with somebody else's view. But that's what being a human is. I was going to say I learned very early on. It wasn't that early on, but I did learn earlier in my life that whatever you have an opinion of or a belief about, somebody else in the world will have exactly the same but the opposite, and they'll be going they'll be willing to go just as far as you are in order to protect their opinion and their view and their beliefs. So I think once you kind of figure that out, you think, well, we'll leave that alone. So we will jump into, there's been one more donation here, which is Karen again for £1.46. So thank you for that in the messages. Phil, just for fun, from the Discover Yourself game, what 3 things can't you live without and why? Oh, now this is easy. Water, food, and shelter. So those are the 3 things that I would think are the most important things for my life. And I have watched in the past this documentary series reality thing called Alone, where people just get dropped off in, I was going to say ridiculous locations, but I think it's mostly in Canada or, kind of right, getting really close to Antarctica. I wonder if they actually did one in Antarctica. I can't remember, but just crazy conditions that they had to live in. And, obviously hunting for food, water and shelter. And this is there's something like, I don't know whether it's is it the 3-minute rule or something like that, where you can, it's like the rule of 3, not a 3-minute rule, but the rule of 3, where you can survive without oxygen for 3 minutes, and then it goes to you can survive for 3 hours without shelter. And this is talking about, I think, like freezing conditions. So you need to get shelter to get out of the really harsh conditions. And then 3 days, is it? Well, obviously I'm not on Alone, so I don't have to worry too much about it. But you've got then 3 days without water. Is that true? I don't know. Or 3 weeks without food. Maybe those are but I mean, somebody that knows about survival can tell me whether that's right or not. But there's definitely a rule of, I don't know whether 3 is even the right number, but holding your breath for 3 minutes seems about right before you're then going to give up because you haven't got any oxygen, and then things certainly go downhill at that point. So if I were out there, most important thing is, I think making sure you got oxygen, which hopefully you will have, but then getting a shelter built so you can get out of the cold. And then once you've got that, then find where your water is, and then find where your food is. I think that's the order with which things go in. It seems to make sense to me. So thankfully, I'm hoping I won't be in that condition in the future, or in any kind of situation where I have those conditions where I've got to worry about that kind of stuff. But I mean, watching one of those series really does make you appreciate what we have, and what I have, and how we are really quite detached from the real world and nature, and having to hunt for food, and actually surviving as a human on the planet. So Cindy says, yes, you got the numbers and correct order. So thank you for that clarification. So that was quite an easy answer to that question. Karen's donated £7.32. So thank you for that. And the message is, this is Karen with a K now. Greetings from beautiful California. Phil, just curious if you saw a while back that King Charles released his playlist. Also, what is your opinion on having a monarchy? I hear it's a subject of debate. So thank you for that. And no, I didn't hear King Charles release his playlist. And having a monarchy is, something that I think splits people, because I think it is good to have, and it's interesting, and it's certainly for tourism and people being interested in the royal family. It's something that brings in revenue, and Windsor Castle, for example, going there and people having a little look around. It's good, but I can also see it from the other point of view, that they are just people. They are humans, and it must be a really weird life to live under such scrutiny and never being able to do anything without a lot of planning, and without security and all that kind of stuff. So on the personal level, I think it's almost a bit of a poison chalice, that you could say, right, you don't have to worry about money too much. You're not going to have to go and work at McDonald's or anything like that, or worry about paying your rent each month, that kind of stuff. But then everything you do is going to be watched by people, and people are going to know where you are, what you're doing. And then if you've got a family, it's paparazzi are going to be taking pictures of you and trying to get pictures of your kids, and they might chase you around, like Princess Diana. You've got just such excess. So I think I wouldn't fancy it. And again, it's just something that you're born into. You don't get a choice in it. You're now a royal, and you've got to live that life. I don't think I'd particularly enjoy that kind of life. So I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing, and people not really knowing who I am, and not really having to plan everything day in, day out, apart from what I'm doing on the channel and analysis videos and all that kind of stuff. But that's not something that has too much danger with it. I'm not going to have to get security in to make sure that I can do what I want to do. So both sides I can see it from, and I think maybe some people don't necessarily appreciate the other point of view, the other side of it, that they're just humans, and it is a bit hardcore being born into that and having to go through that their whole lives, and just kind of effectively being spied on your whole life. So anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And then Karen with a C has donated again 73 pence, and the message is, I thought you might answer one of your guitars, laugh out loud. So thank you for that. And no, I think I am very objective with understanding what is important. And guitars are important to me, but not as important as oxygen and food and shelter. But thank you for that. And Leslie's donated £25 again, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, it's a pleasure to join you again on a live stream. Hate to alarm you, but there's a threat greater than sharks. Orcas are seen killing great whites and eating their livers. So thank you for that. I mean, this is, for me, exactly the same answer that I gave to, sharks being dangerous. I mean, in nature, animals are going to do what they do. And if orcas are going to kill great white sharks, then that's what they're going to do. It's nothing really that I have any say in or any control of. All I can control is making sure that I'm not in that situation when it's happening, i.e. in the water. So as long as I'm here on land, then I've removed myself from that situation. So yeah, orcas aren't going to be particularly dangerous to me, and sharks aren't going to be dangerous to me because they can't get me in this room where I am. So I've removed myself from that equation. So thank you for that, Leslie. And I'm just seeing, did we have another donation? Okay, My Vocal Journey 2112 has donated $5, so thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, do you have anything good to say about AI technology? So, I mean, I think AI has got the potential to be such a positive thing for humanity. And I only ever address it in relation to music, because that's what I'm asked about, and that's what obviously affects me directly as a musician. So with AI technology, yeah, I think that there's huge potential for doing things with AI where it is just something like in medicine, for example, where humans take a long time to conduct an experiment or put particular atoms and different things from the periodic table, getting reactions, all these different things that they put together, and they're making medicine or attempting to do that as much as possible by eliminating variables with the tests that they do. So it's one test, and then you find, oh right, well that happened, so let's try this test. Oh no, that didn't result in what we wanted, so let's do another test. And oh, something else happened there that we didn't expect, so let's test that. And then it's just over and over and over and over again. But if you can get AI to be going through simulations of experiments and effectively doing this at a much faster rate and eliminating variables, because it knows all of the elements in the periodic table and how they react with each other and all these different things, then yeah, there's a huge application for AI. But the problem is, the first application of any new technology is always, unfortunately, going to be with power and weapons. And yeah, it's a bit depressing, but that's just the way it is. So AI's also got the potential to be an absolute nightmare, because rather than creating things for the good of humanity, it will be starting to create things that countries are using as an advantage over each other, such as having weapons that are chemically designed to only take out a certain type of person, or it doesn't even bear thinking about. But think that's the kind of thing that sadly humans, and there are humans in the world that are still in this, I call it like a brain space of the Neanderthal, or someone who hasn't really advanced enough with their brain to realize that all of those things that our ancestors were worried about, or all of the things that they wanted, like more land and power, and to be worshipped and all these different things, that's not important anymore, because we've got enough food to go around. And if you're on land, then there's enough land for you. You don't need to go and take their land. Or this is why I don't talk about religion or politics or anything, because it is so tied in with religion. People wanting other people's land because they think that belongs to them. But then why can't we just be happy with the land that we're on, and then just say, look, everything that's gone in the past is important to reference it and understand what happened, but let's just all agree that where we are is where we are, and let's move forward with our lives. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just too simple of a concept for some people to understand. So yeah, anyway, I think there's a lot to be gained from AI technology in lots of different corners of study, and medicine especially being one of those. And I think even in music, it's not going away, it's not going to disappear. But with my point of view, I just want the laws that currently protect musicians to be applied. That's all that I want. It's not really a complex issue, because once you understand AI and how it's been trained, then you know what's happened in order for that to happen. Like when you type in prompts to get a particular song, even a different type of like, say for example, I've said a reggae version of Welcome to the Jungle, and the song that you're given has all of the correct lyrics in there. And you think, well, how did it know that? How did it know every word that is owned? That's copyrighted material that it's now producing. How did it get that? It must have had consent from the person who wrote it, person or persons, but it didn't. So that, I just want the law to be applied. So that's the only problem that I've got with it. I don't think it's going anywhere. And once the law's applied, then you can do what you want. Then it's all covered. The people that are making it possible are being compensated, which is exactly the same as people doing, like cover videos of other people's songs. There's an agreement in place where the original copyright owner is compensated for that person doing a cover of their song. So it's just wanting common sense to be applied to it. So anyway, thank you for that. And Orlando donated $2 again. It says AC/DC t-shirt today. Yes, well spotted. Right, just the top of the logo you could see there. So it is AC/DC for tonight. And Orlando donated again $2, saying, I gave a second like. Hit the like button, thumbs up. Great idea. We're looking for 440 likes tonight, and we're at 374 so far, meaning we're looking for what, 66? Is that? It might be, I'm not sure. That's what I'm going to go with. So 66 more people before the end of the live stream. If you could hit the thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. And Johnny Be Good has donated 20 Norwegian kroner. Thank you for that. And the message is, have you read any Isaac Asimov books? I, Robot. So thank you for that. No, I haven't. I'm not much of a reader, just because I just, first of all, I'm more of a visual person and a practical person, and I've never read much apart from when I was at school, and I've only kind of read a few books in their entirety. And I think with I'm sure that there are lots of books, and I'm sure there's a movie called I, Robot, which might have had Will Smith in it. So maybe it's the same thing, but it might be about AI and robots taking over and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know whether that's going to happen in the future, but I certainly haven't read any Isaac Asimov books myself. I just haven't got time. I take a long time to read, and I'm sure that a lot of people can read a lot quicker than I can. So when I try to read a book, it's like, well, it's going to take me absolutely ages to finish, and I just haven't got the time to sit down and read a book, unfortunately, because I'm just constantly doing stuff. But thank you for that. And Rocking Babe has donated $9.99. Thank you for that. The message is, I don't watch Skinwalker Ranch or Ranch. Please let me know if evidence of aliens are found yet. So that'd be a bit of a spoiler. But generally what happens is they do an experiment. They say, oh, that was weird. What caused that to happen? And then they do another experiment and they go, wow, that was weird as well. What caused that to happen? And then they do it, and it's just that over and over and over and over. So all they're saying is, could it be this that is causing that? Could it be this that is causing that? So the things that they've found, they're just very much, they haven't got that link yet. But in the latest series, they've found something, and it's all about, in the mesa, under the rocks. They know that something is in there. They don't know what's in there, but they've drilled a hole through the mesa, and it keeps on the drill keeps on hitting something, and wearing out this massive drill that I'm sure isn't supposed to wear out, or it's pretty much worn down to nothing because it's rubbing up against something but creating no heat. And the experts are saying that they don't know of anything that does that. That you can have the temperatures where the drill had actually welded itself together because of the heat, but then the heat of the heat of the drill didn't heat up with all the sensors, so they don't understand what's going on. But anyway, when they're drilling, they check all the stuff that comes out in the mud where they are drilling, and they have found some interesting things. When I say interesting, it's like I don't know what you call it. It's like a tile or something that is used on spaceships, and it's impervious to heat, or at least it's like a superconductor or something like that, so that you can go in and out of space, and that's what they have on the space shuttle. So they found something that's very similar to that, but the properties of it, where the tests that they're doing, it doesn't make any sense of what it's doing, because it seems to be, when they put this laser through it, it seems to heal itself. But it just looks like a tile. So they've never seen anything like that. That it's almost like an organic material. That how can it heal itself? And yeah, so that's a bit weird, and it's got to the point now where, I know this is a massive spoiler, and hopefully you're not listening to this if you haven't seen it. But somebody who wants a bit of a breakdown on it, I'd say that more recently they've got to the point where they're thinking, oh, hang on, maybe we should stop drilling, because there might be something in there that could be huge for the development of the human race, if they're finding a particular material that they've never seen anything like before. And they've taken it to places that study it, and use all of their very fancy equipment, and they also say that they've never seen anything like it. So if there is a particular material that can then be developed by humans, that I mean, it's all theoretical at the moment, that the properties of what they've found in this particular material are the theoretical properties you would need to have potentially flight without propulsion, anti-gravity flight and all that stuff. So yeah, it's all very interesting, and I think now they're doing tests where it's getting quite complicated, whereas before they would just kind of put some rockets into the air and say, oh wow, look, that was really weird how the rocket hit something and got deflected, but there's nothing in the air, so what did it hit that's invisible? And you think, yeah, that is quite interesting, but now they're getting into trying to find out what this particular material is. So yeah, it is interesting, but we're getting to the end of the series now, so we'll have to see what they do, what will it be next year. And I mean, the thing is, for me, because I'm impatient, I just think, I'll just somehow get in there, get into the mesa and find out what it is. But then it's almost like doing an archaeological dig. It's like, yeah, but what if there is something in there that isn't from here, and you're drilling into it and you ruin it? It might have been an intact ship or something, and yeah, you're potentially wrecking it as you're drilling into it and kind of exploding everything to try and find it. So yeah, it's a difficult position for them to be in, but yeah, lots of really interesting stuff happening in this series that's about to finish. So yeah, thank you for that. And Rocking Babes donated $19.99 and says, it constantly surprises me how many people watch your videos and have no understanding of what you say. So thank you for that. Yeah, I think the problem is people just dip in, don't understand the technology I'm using to explain things, don't understand that what I'm pointing out is objective fact, and it is something that can be cross-referenced and is cross-referenced. And yeah, there are multiple professionals that watch my channel, and everybody knows what's going on. But then for the people that come in, and they might even be hobbyists who think they know what they're talking about, but actually, yeah, are totally missing the mark with what they see in a video, and then make comments that don't really make any sense. But I do try to explain it where I can to people that are making comments that are just fundamentally untrue and contradictions. So thank you for that. Right, jumping into the PayPal window. Amy's donated £20. Thank you for that, Amy. And the message is, going back to Alone, if they let you, would you take a guitar as one of the 10 survival items you're allowed to take? Laugh out loud. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. When it comes to survival, I think that there's probably another item that would be more important than a guitar. Like, say for example, I encountered a bear, and the first thing I could grab was my guitar. I think, oh, that's a bit annoying because I'm going to try and hit a bear with a guitar, but I should have bought an axe or a bow and arrow. That would have been better. Or maybe I could start playing a song, and then the bear would be so confused and wouldn't know what's going on and would just leave me alone. But I think actually bears, from what I've seen, they only attack when they feel threatened or when they're protecting their young. So I think if I could just play it cool and say, look, let's just go our own ways, that there's no need to get violent here. And the other thing, I think, which I've said in other live streams, is not triggering the animal's chase response. So animals, whenever they're chasing or whenever they see something that they think, oh, what's that? Is that food? If they see it and that thing starts running away, it means that has submitted they've said, oh, I know that you're stronger than I am, so therefore I'm going to run away from you. And that triggers the chase response, because now the animal knows, oh, that knows that it's not as strong as me, so now I'm going to go and try and eat it. Whereas I think whenever I've seen Alone and somebody has spotted a bear and they've tried to actually hunt it, going after the bear, that the bear doesn't approach the human and say, oh yeah, come on then, let's have a fight, take me on. The bear is the one that retreats because they're being hunted by the human. So it's making sure that even if you know that you haven't got a weapon or anything, kind of standing your ground and maybe acting like you think that you can kill this animal is probably better than screaming and running away. But yeah, who knows? I think probably what's best is just to try and not get its attention and withdraw very slowly. But yeah, again, hopefully I'll never be in that situation. So thank you for that, Amy. And Karen has donated £1 and 10 pence, and this is Karen with a C. The message is, from the game Rethink, what's a memory that always makes you smile and why? A memory. I remember I had a question like this where I said it wasn't really a memory, but just a video of the guy falling off his chair playing the guitar. Always makes me smile and why? I don't know. I'd have to try and remember something. Nothing pops into my mind immediately. So thank you for that, Karen. And Karen with a K has donated £3.66. So thank you for that. And the message is referencing aliens, supernatural events. Did you see the show where Jack Osborne tried to show his parents evidence that it's real? No, I didn't see that, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff out there. I was watching a documentary on the most famous case of an alien sighting in Brazil. And that was weird. That was massively weird. Because these 3 kids saw this, at least reportedly, and they interviewed the girls, who are now, I don't know, like 30 years older. They saw this being because there had been a crash, and they interviewed a guy who actually saw this thing crash in his field. So he kind of went to go and see it, but really quickly there was this response by the army, and because it was in such a small town, they said it was just massively weird because they think, well, what are the army doing here? And then they weren't allowed to go down a particular street; it was all cordoned off. So yeah, there's loads of weird stuff, and then. Yeah, apparently the US took whatever it was and took it back to the USA, and they actually interviewed the people that do the flights, and this person said that this particular flight wasn't registered anywhere, and there wasn't any data about it, but he knew it was happening because he could see that there's a plane coming in and they were loading this thing onto the plane, but there were no records of this particular plane coming or going. Yeah, loads of weird stuff, but that was certainly a documentary where, yeah, the only person to have had direct contact with this alien thing, or this entity, then died, literally days later from this contact that they had. And yeah, that there's the doctors said that they didn't know what he was dying from. There's like the body just shut down for no reason. So yeah, weird stuff. You guys can check that out. Just type it into Google, and yeah, there seems to be a lot of, I don't know, a lot of statements, and there's been statements from so many people. You think, well, if this was a hoax, this would be so difficult, because even the government official believes it. Because the what is it? It's like the mayor, or like the elected official for this particular town. He supports the idea and says, yeah, everything that happened, he believes it was something that crashed and that they did go and take it away. Whereas normally the officials deny it all. So it's just interesting to have that totally different point of view, that he's totally supporting it. Leslie's donated £25. Thank you for that. And the message is, I know the dim-witted people are driving you crazy and forcing you to explain the same things over and over. Don't be discouraged. So thank you for that. And yeah, I think there's only so many times you can explain something. So looking for 19 more people, by the way, in the live chat room to hit the thumbs up if you can. That would be great. We'll then bust out the guitar, have a jam. But we're going to jump into tonight's cover video, which is going to be, it looks like, Just Got Lucky, the Dokken classic, my version of it, of course. So, just quickly, Jennifer's donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, when you were gigging, would have liked to have been as famous as the Beatles or the Stones, or are you glad to just be doing what you do now? So thank you for that. I don't know, I think when you first start out, like in your late teens and early 20s, you think, oh yeah, it'd be great to, be famous and tour the world and do all that kind of stuff. But I think as you get older, you realise that actually that would be a bit of a nightmare, because you're reliant on a record label. So you think, well, yeah, I'd rather just rely on myself. I mean, if you are kind of super huge, then you probably could rely on yourself. But I don't know, I still kind of like to do everything myself and kind of be in control of everything. So yeah, I'm not sure how that would have worked with a record label. And again, I would have been signing away the rights to my music. Not only the music that I've written, but the future songs that I might have written. So yeah, I think as you get older, you realize what signing a record deal is. And yeah, I would much rather be doing what I'm doing now than have signed a record deal. And that goes for, even there was probably 12 years ago, something like that, where I was offered things, and I was offered, it was Universal Music Group, where there was a band, and I had done the songs that I've done, and they wanted me to be the kind of front person of this particular band. And yeah, it would have been signing a record deal, but it wouldn't have been my music, or at least not all of my music. I think they wanted me to have a few songs that they then put into the band. And yeah, but that's something that I didn't really want to do. And yeah, even recently with, I'm not sure whether it was Spine Farm. I think it was. Oh no, it's Frontier. So it's, is it Frontier or Frontiers? But the record label, and this is, I mean, I should know whether it's got an S on the end or not. But you can type it into Google and find it. But it's very much hard rock related, all that kind of stuff. And there was something that popped up probably about a year ago, that going down that avenue, it's, and this is why when people comment, say, oh yeah, what have you ever done? And where's your record deal and all this kind of stuff? there have been times in my past and even my recent past that if I really wanted to jump aboard the signing a recording contract and jumping on that bus and riding that, then I could have done. But I don't want that. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing, and I have my music and I own the rights to it. I own my publishing rights. People buy it, listen to it, great. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I don't feel like I need to go down another avenue because what I'm doing is absolutely fine by me. So even though the other projects are interesting, and yeah, the other one would have been, and this is the other problem, is that when something is suggested and say, would you be interested in doing an album with this particular record label, and it's just going to be a studio project. So they want that to then release online and maybe do a YouTube video for it and, you know, put together whatever they want, but they want me to work with somebody else and for it to be a joint venture. For that kind of thing, you think, well, let's think this through. What if it became really popular, really successful, and now people want me to go and tour with this thing that I did, which was a side project, that was just me, you know, maybe writing a song with collaborating with another person that they wanted me to write with. And yeah, it still doesn't appeal to me doing that, you know, going off and doing a side project as now, oh, that's your main thing. It's like, yeah, but what about all the other things that I want to do? You know, all the other things that, you know, to try and secure the future of the music industry, just making it a little bit more honest and transparent and authentic. And yeah, I've got so many projects that I want to be working on. So yeah, that avenue has been available in the past, but it's something that I actively don't do because that's not really the direction I want to go in. So anyway, let's jump into this cover video, and we need 6 more people for the Phil Jam because we're gonna have to do that quickly. It's 9 minutes and 17 seconds. Right, so we better get into this cover video, and yeah, I didn't look at the jam to see how long it was. So we'll jump into this. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock.
Just Got Lucky by Dokken. Let's do this. Rock.
And there we have it. That was my version of Just Got Lucky by Dokken. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And we are going to be having a fill jam. So I'm going to grab the guitar. And the other thing was, with when I'm talking about, the whole record label thing, if you want to check out the band that, I don't know how many years ago, it's like 15 years ago, something like that. But there was a band called Vega. Like Vega, and obviously it would be like an English band, but I think they're still going now. I say they're still going, but that was like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago when it was all starting up, and that was at that point Universal, that was the label that wanted to start it, and it was Spine Farm Records at that time, but I think it's Frontiers Records now. So yeah, if you can, but it is my kind of music, that kind of thing, but that's what they were asking me about at that time. But again, like I said, it wasn't really going to be my music. It would have been working with other people, and I wasn't really interested in that. But still, you can listen to some of their stuff because it's still a really cool sound. And Vega very much in the wheelhouse of my kind of sound and music that I enjoy. So you can check it out if you want to. But you won't see me in the band because, yes, I wanted to do my own thing. Right, now, quickly picture corner. Let's jump into there. And, where's the picture? And first of all, let me see if it's going to appear. It is going to appear in the middle of the screen, which is great. And this has been sent in by Cindy. The message is, everyone loves the new Wings of Pegasus tote bag. Even my neighbourhood wild turkeys. Do you have turkeys in England? So thank you for that. And yes, we have turkeys in England, especially coming up to Christmas. But thank you for that, and thank you, Laura, for sending me that picture. Right, now let me get rid of this. I have to get myself organised. That's on. Guitar on. Karen donated $5. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, I noticed that aliens is quite a big topic with you. Just for fun, how do you think you'd survive an alien abduction? Maybe entertain them? Thanks, Karen. I don't know. I don't know whether... I think with abductions, they just kind of do what they do and then bring people back. So hopefully I'd survive, but I don't have any tips on how to survive an alien abduction, unfortunately. But anyway, let's click on this. We are going to be jumping into...
Go!
Let's mute that advert. That's on there. Zoom out with this. And indeed, wow, the red dude was awake today. He appeared straight away. Okay, so this is Lost Light Incoming. Progressive 5/4 guitar backing track in A major, 184 beats per minute in brackets for you tempo fanatics, and it's from Pat Matrone on YouTube. So you're not going to be able to tap your foot to this because it's in 5/4. how long we got left on this. It's only 5 minutes into it. Got like a minute left. Oh, sudden ending. There we go. There we have it. That was a long backing track and a long 5/4 time signature backing track. Lost Light incoming. Progressive 5/4 guitar backing track in A major, 184 beats per minute in brackets, from Pat Matroni or Pat Matrone on YouTube, so you guys can check that out if you want to. Yeah, very long one for tonight, but thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to have to call things to a close pronto. And Diamond Gold 1234 donated $5. Thank you for that message. That was a beautiful jam. Phil, thank you. Have a great weekend. So, thank you as well. Thank you, Joe, for sending me the link to that particular backing track for tonight, and you guys think the thumbs up, it is very much appreciated. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that. We're going to be live streaming on Tuesday as well, so if you could join me then, it would be great, because we'll be looking for every thumbs up we can get to have another jam and bust out the guitar. So I will, be here on Tuesday night. So until then, all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will catch you guys at tomorrow night's video. See you then. Rock!